The values are behavior-based. So when we set our strategy and said that we're going to be the preferred solutions provider, there were 4 specific areas that we said we needed to be excellent at to be able to achieve our strategy. We were honest with ourselves to say that we weren't there today. The values are important because they're the guidepost to achieving excellence in those areas. With all of the challenges we have in front of us, with the opportunity that we have to provide all of our employees with an unbelievable place to work and a company that can be so much more than it is today, if we execute against those values, then we will be successful in our strategy and ultimately successful in our vision of becoming an irreplaceable partner.
This is a journey for us, and I think providing guidelines and demonstrating what good looks like will allow us to elevate the entire company.
So when you think about everything from our zero-injury workplace to collaboration to dignity and respect, those things define the culture that we want to drive and imbue inside of Carpenter.
And by stating those core values and living those, and they're not wallpaper on a wall, also keeps you out of any integrity or ethical issue with your customers or your shareholders or anybody. And so it's being out there publicly. This is how we're going to behave, and we're going to measure ourselves on it.
But it also becomes the DNA for the corporation, so that whether we're dealing with our colleagues across the globe in China or in Europe or somewhere else in North America, that there's a commonality to the way we go about our affairs.
Customers that come in and view us see that, and they go like, wow, this is great. They really look for companies that have core values and live those values and walk them out with their employees.
Those really put it in a perspective for everybody to say, okay, listen, this is exactly what we want to do. This is how we want to do it. And I think that's very important.
It's a guiding light of a model of what you should be trying to adhere to, trying to drive yourself to be, and hold others accountable in your team to be.
So it's part of my toolbox, what I bring with me to work every day to help me do my job.
It's who you are. It's your strong foundation.
If we all work together with those type of core values, it equals nothing but success.
We have talked about these almost on a daily basis. We refer back to them, and as we're dealing with customers, they can sense that, and they appreciate it. And Carpenter's name, that goes a long way.
And even though these values aren't numbered 1 through 8, there is one on there that's the most important, and it's zero injury workplace. I truly believe that zero injury workplace is possible, and I need to have all 5,000 of our employees to believe that. If we can be zero injury, can you imagine the other things that this company can accomplish? So it absolutely makes a difference with our customers and our shareholders.
If we believe in safety, then that has to be a core value. It can't be an objective. An objective means you're trying to strive for it every year, you're checking the box. As a core value, it's ingrained in everything we do.
Everyone owns it. It's not the old days anymore. So safety is definitely a #1 priority.
Having that type of attitude carries along with you as far as like when you go home. So it's the best value to have, really, to be safe and go home to your family.
Come in with 10 fingers and toes, and you want to leave with 10 fingers and toes. I mean, that's what we talk about every day is, okay, listen, guys, if you need to slow down, then slow down, that's fine. If we need to improve on something, then let's improve on it, but let's go home the same way as we came in.
And when I leave home, I think about safety. Come to work, think about safety. I want to go back home. I got a wife, a son, I got a baby on the way.
Every day, you know you have to come in, give your best, have your eyes open, have the team together, working in one direction, and that is to eliminate all injuries.
Making sure you communicate everything, keep everybody aware, train everybody on the hazards, discuss the hazards, look out for one another.
They do safety talks daily to try to enforce the safety and try to get you to think about where you are and to use your head.
It is a priority, and it is very important to each and every one of us. That is #1.
When people ask me about transparency, I like to say, problems are not like a fine bottle of wine. They're not going to get better with time. So let's just be honest with each other. And if I don't know about the problem, how can the organization solve it? So transparency, and I think it's a little bit of an act of courage, but we want people to speak up and let us know what the issues are. We'll work on it.
And in your interactions with individuals in the organization and with customers, suppliers, you're communicating openly, and you just don't communicate up and down the organization, but across the organization.
We got to let people feel comfortable being able to come to us and say, hey Jim, it didn't work the way that we thought, and here's what we learned from it. And it builds strong in this because it actually drives trust. When we can be open and honest about each other, about our feelings, about how the operation is running, how we need to improve things in our business and our company, that's always a positive.
Transparency, I think we've made huge improvements over the last year or two. We've broken down boundaries that existed in the past. We're now in communication with our fellow companies, our sister companies.
Every move we made, every move Carpenter made, every move the board made, every move that was made, we got to know about it. And I appreciate that. Everything that is transparent, everything that they do, we get to see.
Transparency also in this teamwork with our colleagues is how we will overcome the challenges we face in our business day to day and how we will make the company better.
Above the line accountability says, own it. What can you do specifically, you, to solve this problem, to lock in a process that will be sustainable for the long term?
It may not necessarily fall within your wheelhouse, but you see it, you own it, you solve it, and you do it, and you move on.
And what I like about above the line accountability is all 5,000 people in Carpenter can practice it every day. It's just having the courage to see that problem. And if you want to see it and you're a leader, good things will happen.
It also means that if I make a mistake, that I'm big enough, okay, to accept that and take accountability for it.
In a meeting, if there's someone that in the moment isn't exhibiting above the line accountability, professionally calling them out and say, listen, you messed up. It's okay, but own that and talk to me about what you're going to do differently the next time.
I'm accountable to everybody in this corporation, everyone. I know that if I don't do my job, I'm failing somebody.
Whatever task, whatever problem I see, I feel it's my responsibility to get that, tackle that job, and move on to the next. Overall, it's going to improve our efficiency with problem solving, and it's going to be the success of our company.
Performance is the measure of how successful you are as a person and how successful you are as a business.
It says that we're going to set a plan, we're going to set targets, and we are intolerant of not achieving those.
When we go to a customer and we say we will deliver this product on this date, that's a commitment, and performance is driven to that commitment of your word. But if we go above and beyond, to me, that's what I call beating expectation, and certainly delivers what I would consider world-class or best-in-class performance.
When it comes down to it, you need to make sure that everything that you do is 100%. Every piece that you put in front of you has to be concentrated on because of what you're doing and where it's going.
Everyone wants to see results. And it really is a great feeling when you can work on a line or an operation that is improving day in and day out.
Maybe it's in our service level, maybe it's in the product itself, but by doing that, it just shows your commitment level to producing a product and even exceeding their expectations.
I take pride in beating goals and beating expectations. Makes you feel good.
Regarding performance, we're all here to create benefit, whether it's products or solutions, to our shareholders and to our customers. And so by doing that, why would we expect anything less of ourselves in our work environment to be able to drive that performance?
The bar is getting raised every day. There's new entrants coming into the marketplace in all of our end-use markets that we play, and what was acceptable 5 years ago is no longer acceptable today. And what's acceptable today won't be acceptable 3 years from now. So we have to continue to equal or exceed our customers' expectations in order to retain their business. Well, when you're dealing with mission critical alloys that we have to be right every time.
Have to treat everyone with dignity and respect at all times, inside of this company in general and also our customers and suppliers.
I take responsibility for all the guys that I'm working with. I want them to have respect for me as the same I have respect for all of them. Treat them with dignity. You know, they'll do the same in return.
I respect my elders, I respect my colleagues, I respect anyone I work with. Through this implementation of the operating model, guys are more than willing to work with me.
That does not mean that you don't have difficult discussions. That doesn't mean that everyone is going to agree with the decisions that I make or the executive team makes or a supervisor makes. What it does mean is that I'm going to value your point of view. I'm going to value your contribution to this company.
It sets expectations for how we treat one another and, most importantly, my coworkers, because part of my job is looking out for them on a day-to-day basis. And I work with them, you know, more than I spend time with my own family. So it's important that we look out for each other.
You got to respect each other in order to get through your day and work safely and be productive.
So when you think about, you know, treating everyone as you want to be treated, to me it sets a certain common language for how we're going to operate together. I know when I engage you, you have my best interest hopefully at heart, and I have your best interest at heart. So to me, dignity and respect is kind of the foundation. You build everything else on top of that. But without that foundation, I think that, you know, the house crumbles.
It's important for us with ethics and integrity for everything that we do. From coming in here and taking care of the employees to taking care of the products that we make.
I think behaving ethically means doing the right thing and always doing the right thing. And people, even if it's the tough thing, people will respect that.
It's something that is the core of our organization. It's core to our business. It's the way the company has done business for the last 128 years. It's the way we'll continue to do business.
We want to go home every day proud of what we've done. We want to go home every day and speak to our families about our work in a prideful way. If we can't have the highest level of ethics and integrity, it's impossible to do that.
When I think about ethics, you know, I distill that not only to my people, my employees, but in my personal life, to my family, to my kids. You know, if I can't trust you or if you can't trust me, then it's very hard to work together.
We walk the walk and talk the talk. If I'm going to be committed to safety, then I have to live it out. And I think walking the walk, if I make comments about we're going to be open and honest with each other, we're going to be transparent, to me, that's what that means, is that I'm ethical, I'm living up to what I said I was going to do, and I'm demonstrating those behaviors broadly within the organization.
It's easy to get kind of stuck in a rut within your own four walls. So when you collaborate with other buildings, other addresses, other areas of the business, it just opens up your mind to produce a better product in the end.
We want to work together with other people and get other people involved in situations. Say, hey, we have a problem with this. What can we do to make this process better, faster, so that we can make the customers happy by producing the best material that we possibly can?
We have to collaborate daily, whether it's production collaborating with maintenance, whether it's maintenance and technology. We have to work together because it's a synergistic effect, and we're better 204 people collaborating than we are 204 people working separately.
A lot of years of knowledge on our floor, and those guys have seen a lot, they've done a lot, so you have to lean on them to help the newer guys that are coming into the industry and into the shop.
I've seen changes here in how people are coming together and working together more now than we had in the past, now that we've embraced these values.
We're all feeling the same struggles day after day. And this is a way for us to communicate with one another. From facility to facility, we're able to relay our problems, and if somebody has come up with a solution, we're able to communicate that.
We have a lot of partners
all around the world, in China, Sweden, in US, or different brands like Omega West or La Trobe, but we are only one team. And we have the chance to get the best from the other companies and also to offer the best of us if we really collaborate.
I don't want a success. I want a success for the company. And if they help me, if the technical guys and the spec review are helping me, then the commercial guys will provide me a pricing, then the scheduling will provide me the right heat time, and if we work all together, we will win.
Professional confrontation is all about what I think is speaking up in the moment. So there's an expectation that we should express our feelings when it's most relevant.
If you have an issue, if you have a disagreement, you need to bring it up, you need to speak your mind, and you need to do it in a professional manner. Once we do that and make a decision, we're all in, and we're going to move forward as a team.
At its core, this is really a cultural change. We want to empower people to feel like their inputs, their blood, sweat, and tears are valued.
If we don't engage our employees to communicate with us effectively, challenge policies professionally, we will never improve.
There's a line we don't cross. It's respecting each other and respecting what we're all trying to get to. We may be coming at it from different angles, but the end goal is the same.
If we have some professional confrontation, right, that might drive us to get a little worked up, a little flustered, I still have the respect that you ultimately want the same thing that I want, right? The greater good of Carpenter.
We don't want to continue going with the same problem, or we don't want to have an argument with another employee. So what we'll do, we'll come up with a new task or come up with an improvement so that we don't have that again.
It's good for people to debate a certain topic or a certain issue. Hopefully they do it with data where possible. Whether it's quantitative or qualitative data.
This is the data, this is where it lines up, and this is the decision that we're going to make as a company moving forward. It's not personal, it's business, and it's for the best interest of everybody that's involved.
There's no shrugs. When we walk into a group meeting and we have the discussion that we're going to go left or we're going to go right, we'll look at all the different alternatives, but when we walk out of that room, no one shrugs their shoulders and says, I don't think that's going to work, because the company is under too much pressure in a competitive marketplace that we have to be united.